Falling from the sky above northern Gaza, desperately needed packages of aid. But there's nowhere near enough, and everything here is touched by tragedy. Today, 5 Palestinians were reportedly killed by packages whose parachutes failed to open. Waiting for aid from the few trucks that do manage to reach the area is even more dangerous. These men say they were shot at by Israeli soldiers when trying to grab bags of flour earlier this week.
We went to get flour and were fired at by the Israeli forces. I didn't get flour and was shot in my legs. We were not carrying weapons. We are civilians. We wanted to get food because we are starving here.
Fears of famine in Gaza are growing, as is international frustration at Israeli obstacles to the delivery of aid trucks. More than a dozen young children have died from malnutrition, according to doctors, in what's been described as the world's worst hunger crisis. The head of the European Commission was today in Cyprus, declaring a maritime corridor delivering supplies could begin operating this weekend. Yesterday, President Biden announced the US would build a temporary port in Gaza, a project also supported by Britain. But it will take time, and the needs are urgent.
This is frustrating because we need more aid to go in. In the last few days, we've averaged about 120 trucks of aid going in. We need more like 500 a day, not 120. And we've repeatedly called on the Israelis to change the things that need to be changed. More openings into Gaza, more UN staff inside Gaza able to transport the aid around Gaza.
Israel insists it's not impeding the delivery of aid, but it's denied permission to most recent missions heading for the north and rejected large quantities of supplies, claiming they could be used for military purposes. We spoke to one UN official who reached northern Gaza earlier today.
The nightmare in Gaza is much more than a humanitarian crisis. For me, from what I've seen, it's a crisis of humanity. Truly, what I saw today broke my heart. Gaza is dust. Everyone we passed, everyone we spoke to was doing this for food. And clearly every day is a day of a fight for survival.
A ceasefire is what aid agencies and Palestinians are calling for. But talks to reach one in exchange for the release of Israeli hostages have stalled. This, the aftermath of an Israeli strike in the central city of Deir al-Balah. More than 30,000 Gazans have been killed. Both bombs and hunger claiming lives.